What's up, guys? This is Boondocks, and today's another episode of Can They Support, in which we're going to be looking at Hydroid. And to be honest, this is going to be a pretty quick one because I'm not a fan of Hydroid, so I don't really play him that often. And even though I know he can fit very specific team comps and setups, he's not all that great and can usually be outclassed by other frames, so you might as well go with them. So real quick, I'm going to talk about the three abilities that can be used for different benefit effects, and then talk about how they're actually buffed using syndicate mods. So for starters, we're going to have Tidal Surge. This is going to make you crash into enemies in front of you. Now, this can be pretty decent because it can knock away enemies and kind of give you a little bit of crowd control, but it's really the syndicate mod that's going to make it a benefit. And basically all this is, it's almost like Excalibur's Slash. You're just going to burst yourself forward, and apparently right off the edge. So as you can see, I now have that little glow, and that's from the Syndicate mod. For your second ability, Undertow, you're going to turn into a giant pool of water. Any enemies that walk into the pool of water are going to get pulled under the ground and take very, very minor true damage. So it's going to ignore all armor and everything, but the issue is it's almost totally inconsequential how much damage you actually do. And because of that, I'd never actually use it. And another cool thing is it gets buffed by your Syndicate mods. The third and final one is your Tentacle Swarm. And this is his major claim to fame, and it's using these tentacles in order to buff your team in a very interesting way. So real quick, while they're still going at it, let's take a look at the abilities that get changed thanks to the Syndicate mods, what they actually do. So curative undertow. This is going to make it so that when you go into your undertow, turn in that big pool of water, not only will enemies get sucked in and take damage, but now any teammate that walks on top of you is going to get healed. You're going to get healed by 30% health every 1.5 seconds. Now, this can also be used to heal companions like Kurubos and the new Kavats whenever I manage to get one of those, or I'm not even sure if they're actually out yet. And in addition, it's also going to heal all the Syndicate Spectres that you summon or get on Syndicate missions, or even the hostage in the new defense sorties. So because of that, this can be used to heal characters that you aren't always able to. And because of that, it does have a very unique ability. The only downside is you're going to lose an additional 5 energy per second for every teammate that is currently standing on it and getting healed. And because of that, you're going to have to mod in order to have enough energy to heal your team. The second one, Tidal Impunity, this one's kind of cool. It's pretty unique in my opinion. Basically, any teammates that you're going to use your Tidal Surge through are going to get that red overshield looking thing that I had. And this is going to make them invulnerable to all status effects, as well as cure them of any status effects they currently had on. Now, this could be really good in, say, the radiation-enabled levels, assuming your Tidal Surge doesn't actually kill your teammates. So if you lower your power strength to ridiculously low levels and then have really high efficiency and duration, you can use this to remove radiation procs from teammates. You can cure their slash, toxic, or fire damage, so that way they're not going to just slowly die. And as well as give them that 6-second immunity, which will get increased thanks to power duration. So if you can get your power duration up to, let's say, 200%, well, now that's going to be a 12-second immunity, which in some respects can be very decent. The only issue is this either has to have a lot of foresight or be very reactive. And on the reactive side of things, you have to most likely be in better communication using voice chat with your teammates, so that way you know, hey, I need to use Tidal Surge on this guy to remove the status effects. And that can get a little iffy at times. Finally, the main claim to fame from Hydroid is Pilfering Swarm. Basically, whenever an enemy is killed by the tentacles, it has a 100% chance to drop additional items. Now, this can be stacked with having a Necros in your group, and possibly even an Atlas with Orgaze. So the way I envision it is Atlas uses Orgaze, the tentacle swarms grab them, and then you kill them, Necros desecrates. I'm not sure if the petrified guys will stay around long enough, but in theory, you can get some ridiculous drop chances going. Now, the actual information that's presented on this card is not entirely correct. It says enemies that are killed by the tentacles. That's not true. It's any enemies that are killed while affected by the tentacles. So when you first spawn those all out from the ground, they're going to latch onto enemies, and as you kill them, whether from the tentacle or shooting them in the face, they're going to have a 100% chance at dropping extra items. So because of that, he can definitely be used, even more so in conjunction with a Necros, to farm the shit out of different Dark Sector missions, or if you're going to go and try to farm for mods from a specific enemy that drops that type of thing. You can use this in the hopes of boosting your probability. And yeah, that's Hydroid's main claim, is Pilfering Swarm. Those other two abilities can be used in interesting ways to support your team. So as far as a farmer is concerned, yes, Hydroid does have potential. Outside of that, I just feel like he's too weak, as his other abilities are very reactionary, or remove him and sometimes enemies from the fight that could be getting killed instead. So if you're removed from the fight, you're not using your weapons to kill. If you remove the enemies from the fight and they're not taking enough damage, they're not going to die. And because of that, I feel like you probably have better options. Just try a Necros. So anyways, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.